Welcome back to Fiction Flux. Today we are starting a brand new what-if story. What if female Deku became the god of lightning? Let's not waste time and get started. Rain was pouring over the city as Izumi Midoriya stood alone on the street, soaked and silent. She had just been told once again that she was quirkless. Bakugo's words still echoed in her head as he walked away laughing. Izumi clenched her fists but said nothing. That night she sat near the window watching the storm. Thunder kept crashing again and again, louder than usual. The sky looked strange, almost alive. Suddenly, a massive lightning strike hit somewhere close, shaking the entire area. For a moment, it felt like the lightning was calling her. The next day, everything seemed normal until the sludge villain attack happened. People were running, screaming, trying to escape. Izumi saw a kid trapped and about to be attacked. She tried to move, but her body froze. Fear took over. Then suddenly, lightning struck. It's not nearby. Directly on her. Everything went white. For a second, there was complete silence. When she opened her eyes, things had changed. Her eyes were glowing, and electricity was flowing around her body. The air felt heavy, like a storm was forming around her. The sludge villain attacked, but before it could reach her, a burst of lightning shot out from her body and destroyed part of it instantly. Everyone around froze. Izumi looked at her hands as electricity moved between her fingers. She could feel energy everywhere, in the air, in the clouds, in the ground. It felt like the entire sky was connected to her. Without thinking, she raised her hand, and another lightning strike came down from above, hitting the villain and finishing it completely. People stepped back, confused and scared. This didn't look like a normal quirk. Inside her head, a voice appeared. "You are no longer weak." Izumi held her head, trying to understand what was happening. "What is this power?" The voice replied calmly. "You have been chosen by the storm." Her body slowly lifted slightly off the ground as lightning continued to surround her. The clouds above started moving violently, reacting to her presence. She looked up at the sky, then back at her hands. "I can control this." But something about it didn't feel normal. Far away, someone was watching. All for one stood in the shadows, observing everything. A power like this, not a quirk. He smiled. This could change everything. Back at the scene, Izumi stood in the middle of the destroyed street, lightning still crackling around her. She had gained power, but she didn't know the cost yet. After the lightning disappeared, silence filled the street. People slowly started whispering. Some heroes arrived late, confused by what they were seeing. The sludge villain was completely gone, not even a trace left behind. Izumi stood still, staring at her hands. Small sparks were still jumping between her fingers. "This is my quirk." But deep inside, she knew something was off. This didn't feel like a normal quirk. A pro hero cautiously stepped forward. "Kid, are you all right?" Izumi looked at him, her glowing eyes slowly fading back to normal. I think so." But as she said that, ZZZZT. A sudden electric surge burst out again, forcing the hero to step back. "Stay back," he said, raising his guard. Izumi immediately panicked. "I am sorry, I didn't mean to." She tried to calm herself, breathing heavily. Slowly, the electricity around her faded. The situation was under control, for now. Later that day, Izumi was taken in for questioning. She sat in a room with a few pro-heroes, including one familiar face. All Might. He looked serious. "Young Midoriya, what exactly happened?" Izumi hesitated. "I don't know, it just happened." She explained everything: the storm, the lightning strike, the sudden power. The room stayed silent. One of the heroes spoke quietly. "This doesn't match any known quirk pattern." Another added, "It felt more like natural energy manipulation." All Might kept staring at her. Then he asked something unexpected. "Midoriya, before this, did you have a quirk?" Izumi lowered her head. "No." That answer made the room even heavier. A quirkless girl suddenly gaining this level of power. It didn't make sense. That night, Izumi returned home. Her mother hugged her tightly after hearing what happened. "You're safe, that's all that matters." Izumi smiled a little, but her mind wasn't calm. Later, she went back to her room. The sky outside was clear now. No storm, no thunder, but still, she could feel something. She slowly raised her hand. Come. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, crack, a small spark appeared. Her eyes widened. It's still there. She focused harder. The air around her started vibrating slightly. Electricity slowly formed around her fingers. It was weaker than before, but it was real. I can control it. A small smile appeared on her face. Days passed. Izumi started secretly training her power. At first, she couldn't control it properly. Sometimes the lightning would be too strong. Sometimes it wouldn't appear at all. But slowly, she improved. She learned how to call small sparks, then bigger ones, then controlled bursts. She even figured out how to move faster using electricity, her body reacting quicker than before. But every time she pushed too far, that voice returned. You're holding back. Izumi clenched her teeth. I don't need you. The voice chuckled. You're using my power. Without me, you are nothing. Izumi ignored it. She didn't trust it. Meanwhile, UA entrance exam day arrived. Izumi stood at the gates, looking at the massive building. Students all around were talking confidently, some showing off their quirks. She stayed quiet. I can do this. Inside, Present Mike explained the rules. Destroy robots, gain points. Simple, but for Izumi, it wasn't that simple. She couldn't fully control her power yet. The exam started. Students rushed forward. Explosions, fire, ice, all kinds of quirks filled the area. Izumi ran forward, avoiding chaos. A small robot approached her. She raised her hand. Focus. Electricity formed. But suddenly, zap, too much power. The robot was completely destroyed in one hit. Izumi froze. That was too strong. Nearby students looked at her in shock. What was that? She destroyed it instantly. Izumi quickly moved away, trying not to draw attention. As the exam continued, she kept fighting carefully. One robot at a time. Controlled attacks. But the more she used her power, the more unstable it felt. The sky above slowly started changing. Clouds gathering again, even though it wasn't supposed to rain. Then, the ground shook. The 0 pointer appeared. Everyone started running. Run! No points for that thing. Izumi also stepped back. But then, she saw someone trapped. A girl, under rubble. She couldn't move. Izumi stopped. Her body trembled. So again, same situation. Same fear. But this time, she took a step forward. No, I'm not running. She clenched her fists. Electricity started building around her again. Stronger than before. The air started vibrating. The sky darkened. The voice returned. Yes, let it out. Izumi closed her eyes. No, I control this. She opened her eyes. This time, no fear, only focus. Lightning exploded around her body. The ground cracked beneath her feet. Students stopped and stared. What is she doing? Izumi looked at the 0 pointer. I'll save her. And in the next moment, she moved, faster than anyone could see. A trail of lightning followed her. She reached the girl instantly, lifting the rubble off her. Are you okay? The girl nodded, shocked. But before they could move, the 0 pointer attacked. Izumi turned, raised her hand. The sky above responded. Clouds spiraled violently. Electricity gathered. But this time, it wasn't stopping. It kept growing. Stronger. Unstable. The voice laughed. You can't control it anymore. Izumi's eyes widened. Snow. The lightning above her began to expand uncontrollably. And then, the explosion lit up the entire exam field. For a moment, everything went silent. Then, a massive bolt of lightning crashed down from the sky, hitting the 0-pointer directly. The impact shattered parts of the giant robot instantly. Metal pieces flew everywhere. The ground cracked under the force. Students froze. What was that? Izumi stood in front of the girl she saved, breathing heavily. Lightning was still flowing around her body, but now it was wild, unstable. Stop. Her arm trembled as more electricity gathered. The 0-pointer wasn't fully destroyed. It moved again, slowly turning toward her. Izumi looked up. It's still standing. The voice inside her laughed. Of course. You barely scratched it. Her grip tightened. Then I'll finish it. She pushed forward. Lightning burst from her feet as she dashed toward the robot again, faster than before. Each step left cracks on the ground. She jumped, and midair raised both hands. The sky responded instantly. Dark clouds spiraled violently above the exam zone. Electricity gathered into one point. Stronger, brighter, more dangerous. But this time, it didn't feel like she was controlling it. It felt like it was controlling her. Too much. Her body shook. Her vision blurred for a second. The voice spoke again. Let me take over. I'll show you real power. Izumi clenched her teeth. Snow. Lightning surged violently around her again, almost exploding outward. Below, teachers were watching through cameras. Aizawa narrowed his eyes. This isn't normal. All Might stood up slightly. Midoriya. Back in the field. The 0-pointer raised its arm to attack. Izumi looked down at it. Then at the sky. Just one hit. She forced her body to stabilize. Electricity condensed around her hands. Smaller, focused, controlled. I won't lose control. For a moment, everything aligned. The storm above synchronized with her. And then, she swung her hand down. A concentrated lightning strike shot from the sky. Direct hit. The 0-pointer stopped. Completely. Then, it split. Right down the middle. And collapsed. Silent. No movement. The entire robot was destroyed. Students stared in shock. She destroyed it. In one attack. Izumi landed on the ground. The lightning around her slowly faded. Her body trembled. I did it. But the moment she relaxed, everything hit her at once. Her legs gave out. She collapsed. When she opened her eyes, she was in a hospital bed. White ceiling. Machines beside her. Where? You're awake. Izumi turned her head. Recovery girl stood nearby. You pushed your body too far, she said calmly. That kind of power, your body isn't ready for it. Izumi slowly sat up. The exam. Recovery girl smiled slightly. You passed. Izumi froze. Really? You didn't just pass, she added. You made quite an impression. Izumi looked down at her hands again. No electricity. No glow. So it's real. Recovery girl noticed her expression. That power. Be careful with it. Izumi nodded slowly. Later, UA results came. Izumi stood outside with her letter. Hands shaking slightly. She opened it. A projection appeared. All might. Young Aizawa. Izumi's eyes widened. You showed incredible courage and power during the exam. You didn't just save people. You changed the entire battlefield. Izumi smiled slightly. I did. But All Might continued. Your power is dangerous. Her smile faded. It's not like anything we've seen before. But that's exactly why. He pointed forward. You belong at UA. Izumi's eyes lit up. I got in. First day at UA. Class 1A. Students gathered, talking loudly. Izumi entered quietly. Some students immediately recognized her. Hey, that's her. The lightning girls. She destroyed the 0-pointer. Izumi scratched her head awkwardly. Guess they saw. Bakugo clicked his tongue. So you got in too? Izumi looked at him. Yeah, but something felt different. Bakugo wasn't laughing. He was serious. Then, Aizawa entered. Sit down. The room went silent instantly. We are doing a quirk assessment test. Students groaned. Change into your gym clothes and meet outside. Test started. Running, throwing, strength, speed. Izumi held back. Carefully. She didn't use full power. But even then, her results were high. Too high. Faster reactions. Sharper movement. More output. Aizawa kept watching her. She's suppressing it. Then, ball throw test. Use your quirk, Aizawa said. Izumi froze. Right now. Yes. She picked up the ball. Looked at it. Then at her hand. Just a little. Electricity started forming. Small at first. Then growing. Students stepped back. Here we go again. Izumi tightened her grip. Control it. She threw. The moment the ball left her hand, lightning exploded forward with it. The ball vanished instantly into the distance. Aizawa checked the result. Infinity meters. The class went silent. Izumi blinked. Wait, what? Aizawa looked at her seriously. You're holding back. Izumi looked down. I am. But even she knew. This power was still far from stable. And deep inside, that voice returned again. Stronger than before. You're getting used to it. Soon, you won't be able to stop me. Izumi's eyes slightly narrowed. We'll see about that. Aizawa kept staring at her for a few more seconds. Midoriya. Yes. After school, you're staying. The rest of the class reacted instantly. Zulu. Extra training already. Bakugo smirked slightly. He finally noticed. Izumi just nodded. Okay. The tests continued. Jump, grip, strength, side steps. Izumi kept everything controlled. But even then, her results were near the top. Not because she was using full power, but because her body had already started adapting. Faster reflexes. Better reaction time. Even her movements felt sharper. Aizawa noticed everything. He didn't say anything, but he was watching closely. After school, the class slowly left. Izumi stayed behind. Aizawa stood near the field. Come. She walked toward him. You wanted to talk. Aizawa crossed his arms. No, you're training. Izumi blinked. Right now? Yes. He pointed forward. Show me your full power. Izumi froze. Full power. Aizawa's eyes narrowed. You've been suppressing it all day. I want to see what happens when you don't. Izumi looked at her hands. Then at the open field. If I lose control, I'll stop you, Aizawa replied instantly. So don't hold back. Silent. Wind started picking up slightly. Izumi took a deep breath. Okay. She stepped forward, closed her eyes, focused. Electricity slowly started forming around her body. Small sparks at first. Then, Mori, stronger. The air around her started vibrating. Aizawa activated his quirk, ready. Keep going. Izumi clenched her fists. Lightning began spreading across the ground beneath her feet. Cracks formed. The sky above slowly darkened, even though it was clear just seconds ago. This is too much. The voice returned. Let go. Izumi's breathing got heavier. Snow. Mori lightning burst out. Uncontrolled. Wild. Aizawa's eyes widened slightly. This level. Izumi lifted slightly off the ground. Electricity wrapped around her like a storm. I can't hold it. The voice laughed. Exactly. Give control to me. Her head hurt. Her vision blurred. Shut up. Lightning exploded outward. Aizawa immediately used his capture weapon. But it got burned instantly. He activated his erasure. For a second, the lightning flickered. Then, it came back. Stronger. Aizawa's expression changed. My quirk didn't stop it. That confirmed it. This wasn't a normal quirk. Izumi's eyes slowly changed. From green to glowing gold again. Enough. Her voice sounded different. Calm. Cold. Not fully hers. The storm above intensified. Wind howled violently. Lightning struck around the field randomly. Aizawa stepped back. Midoriya. No response. She looked up at the sky, then down at her hand. So this is the limit of this body. Aizawa immediately moved. That's not Midoriya. He rushed forward. But before he could reach, Zap. A lightning burst forced him back. He landed, sliding slightly. She's lost control. Inside her mind, Izumi was struggling. Move. Her body wasn't listening. The voice stood in front of her. A dark figure made of lightning. You're too weak. Izumi glared. It's my body. The figure smiled. Not anymore. Outside, the storm grew stronger. Even teachers started noticing. President Mike looked up. Yo, what's happening outside? Midnight stepped out. That energy. Back at the field. Izumi raised her hand. Lightning gathered above her. Massive. Unstable. This power is mine now. Aizawa reacted instantly. He threw his capture weapon again, this time aiming to restrict movement. But the lightning burned through it again. Damn it. Inside, Izumi clenched her fists. I'm not losing. She stepped forward. The lightning figure watched calmly. Try. Izumi rushed at it. They clashed. Electricity exploded in all directions. Outside, Izumi's body reacted violently. Lightning burst uncontrollably. The ground cracked deeper. Buildings nearby started shaking slightly. Aizawa shouted. Midoriya, snap out of it. For a second, her body froze. Just for a second. Inside, Izumi pushed harder. Get out. She grabbed the lightning figure, forcing it back. The figure's smile faded slightly. Interesting. Outside, the lightning around her suddenly shrank, then expanded again. Unstable. Back and forth. Aizawa didn't waste time. He rushed forward again, this time getting close enough. He grabbed her shoulder. Midoriya. Inside, Izumi screamed. I said get out. A massive surge of energy burst from her. The lightning figure was pushed back. Cracks formed around it. You think this ends here? Outside, a massive shockwave exploded outward. Aizawa was thrown back. But the storm above suddenly stopped. Everything went quiet. Lightning disappeared. Izumi dropped. Unconscious. Aizawa got up slowly, breathing slightly heavy. That was close. He looked at her. This isn't just power. This is something else. He picked her up. And if she loses control again, it won't just be a training problem. Far away, All Might stood on a rooftop, watching. Young Midoriya. What exactly have you awakened? Izumi slowly opened her eyes. White ceiling again. But this time, her body felt heavier. Not from exhaustion. From something else. I lost control. Her voice was low. She remembered everything. The storm, the voice, that moment, when it almost took over. You're awake. Izumi turned. Aizawa was sitting nearby, arms crossed. Sensei, you nearly destroyed the training ground, he said calmly. Izumi looked down. I'm sorry. Aizawa didn't react. Sorry doesn't fix power like that. Silent. Then he stood up. You're coming with me. Where? You'll see. A few minutes later. UA underground training facility. Massive. Reinforced. Built to handle extreme quirks. Aizawa stopped. This is where you train from now on. Izumi looked around. It's alone. For now. He looked at her seriously. Until you prove you won't lose control again. Izumi nodded. Understood. Training began. Izumi stood in the center. Okay. She raised her hand. Small sparks. Controlled. Stable. Good. She increased output. More lightning. Still stable. Then, she pushed further. The moment she did, the air changed. Pressure increased. The voice returned instantly. You're getting closer. Izumi's eyes narrowed. It's not now. Lightning surged again. Stronger. Walls slightly cracked. Warning systems activated. Aizawa watched from outside. She's already reaching that level again. Izumi clenched her fists. Control. But the power didn't feel like it wanted control. It wanted release. Full release. The voice spoke again. Why are you holding back? Destroy everything. Her breathing got heavier. Snow. Lightning exploded outward. Boom. The entire room shook. Izumi dropped to one knee. Damn it. Suddenly, the door opened. Aizawa stepped in. Enough. Izumi looked up. I can handle it. Aizawa shook his head. No, you're fighting the power. That's why you're losing control. Izumi froze. Then what do I do? Aizawa looked directly at her. Understand it. That night, Izumi sat alone. Thinking. Understand it. She closed her eyes. Focused. For the first time. She didn't resist. She let the power come. Slowly, carefully, the lightning appeared again. But this time, she didn't push it away. She observed it, felt it, the flow, the rhythm. It wasn't random. It had a pattern, a system. So this is how it works. For a moment, everything stayed stable. Then, the voice appeared again. Right in front of her. The the lightning's figure. You finally stopped resisting. Izumi stood up. You're not taking over. The figure smiled. I don't need to. I am already part of you. Izumi clenched her fists. Then I'll control you. The figure laughed. Try. Suddenly, the environment changed. They were no longer in her mind. A storm appeared around them. Massive, violent, lightning everywhere. You want control, the figure said. Then survive this. Outside, Izumi's body started reacting again. Lightning surrounded her. But this time, it wasn't exploding. It was building, condensing. Aizawa noticed immediately. Something's different. Inside, lightning bolts shot toward Izumi from all directions. She dodged. Fast, but barely. Too fast. Another strike. She blocked it. Electricity clashed. Pain shot through her arm. So this is the real power. The figure appeared behind her. Too slow. Zap. She was thrown back. Crashed into the ground. Outside, her body trembled violently. Energy levels rising. System warnings increasing. Aizawa stepped forward. What is she doing? Inside, Izumi stood up again. Breathing heavily. I won't lose. She rushed forward. Faster this time. Dodged lightning. Closed distance. Punch. Blocked. Kick. Countered. The figure moved perfectly. You're predictable. Izumi jumped back. Then I'll change. She closed her eyes. For a split second. Then, she stopped reacting. Stopped thinking. Just moved. Lightning came. She didn't dodge late. She moved before it struck. Faster, sharper, more precise. The figure paused. Interesting. Izumi appeared in front of it. Punch landed. For the first time. The figure slid back. Outside, lightning around her stabilized. Not chaotic anymore. Focused, controlled. Aizawa's eyes narrowed. She's adapting. Inside, Izumi stood firm. This power is mine. The figure smiled. Then prove it. The storm intensified. 10 times stronger. Lightning everywhere. No space to dodge. No escape. Izumi looked around. Then I won't dodge. She raised both hands. I'll control it. Outside, energy levels spiked. Higher than before. Even higher than the exam. Aizawa stepped back slightly. This might break the facility. Inside, all lightning rushed toward Izumi at once. Instead of dodging, she grabbed it. Both hands. Electricity surged through her body. Pain exploded everywhere. But she didn't let go. I won't lose. The lightning started changing. From wild to controlled. From chaotic to stable. The storm slowed. The figure's expression changed. You're forcing control. Izumi looked up. Eyes glowing. But stable this time. No, I'm taking it. Outside, suddenly, everything stopped. Complete silence. No lightning. No storm. Izumi stood there. Calm. Electricity flowing smoothly around her. Not exploding. Not unstable. Perfect control. Aizawa stared. She did it. Izumi opened her eyes. It's normal, but different. Stronger. Sharper. I understand it now. For the first time. No voice. No interference. Just power. Under her control. But far away. Something reacted. A massive screen lit up in a dark room. Energy readings off the charts. A figure stood watching. All for one. So she stabilized it. He smiled. That means it's ready. Behind him, multiple Nomu activated. Bring her to me. Back at UA, Izumi stepped out of the training room. Feeling different. Better. Stronger. But she didn't notice. High above, clouds were forming again. Not naturally. Something was coming. Fast. And this time, it wasn't her power. Clouds gathered unnaturally fast above UA. Not dark like a normal storm. This one felt wrong. Heavy. Artificial. Izumi stopped walking. This isn't mine. Aizawa noticed her pause. What is it? Izumi looked up. Something coming. Suddenly, a massive explosion hit the outer wall of UA. Alarms blared instantly. Students froze. What was that? Is this an attack? Aizawa's expression turned serious. Everyone stay back. Outside, smoke filled the air. A large section of the wall was destroyed. And from the dust, figures walked out. Nomu. Multiple. But these weren't normal. Their bodies were glowing faintly. With electricity. On a nearby rooftop. All for one stood calmly. Watching. Let's see. A god of lightning. Back inside. Izumi's body reacted instantly. Electricity sparked around her. There's like me. Aizawa looked at her. No. They're built to counter you. The Nomu moved. Fast. Too fast. One of them appeared in front of a student. Before it could attack. Zap. Izumi intercepted. Lightning burst between them. The impact pushed both back. The ground cracked. Students stared in shock. She's fighting it head-on. Izumi looked at the Nomu. You're copying my power. The Nomu didn't respond. It attacked again. Punch. Izumi blocked. Electricity clashed violently. But something felt off. It's absorbing it. Her eyes widened. The more lightning she used, the stronger it got. Aizawa, don't use full power, he shouted. They're adapting. Another Nomu jumped in. Two at once. Izumi dodged. Barely. Too fast. They weren't just strong. They were evolving mid-fight. Inside her mind, the voice returned. You say, you can't win like this. Izumi clenched her teeth. I told you to stay quiet. The voice laughed. You lied me. Outside, one Nomu grabbed her arm. Electricity surged. But instead of damage, it absorbed it. Another attacked from behind. Boom! She got thrown into a building. Debris collapsed around her. Dust filled the air. Silent. Then, a spark. Small. Then growing. Izumi stepped out. Uninjured. But serious. If lightning doesn't work, then I'll change it. Aizawa noticed immediately. What is she doing? Izumi raised her hand. But this time, no wild lightning. No explosion. The electricity became thin. Sharper. Condensed. Almost invisible. Precision. She moved. Faster than before. Appeared in front of the Nomu. Slash. A thin lightning cut went through its arm. Clean. Precise. The arm dropped. It didn't absorb it. Izumi realized. So that's the weakness. The Nomu roared. But before it could react, she moved again. Multiple strikes. Fast. Controlled. Each one cutting instead of exploding. But then, the ground shook. A massive presence landed. Heavier, stronger, different. A new Nomu. Bigger, covered in black armor-like skin. And lightning was already flowing through it. Constantly, Izumi stopped. That one's different. Aizawa stepped forward. That's the main one. The Nomu looked at Izumi. Then, smiled. Not like a normal Nomu. This one had awareness. It raised its hand. And a massive lightning attack fired. It's not random. Controlled. Exactly like hers. Izumi barely blocked. The impact pushed her back hard. It's using my power perfectly. Inside, the voice spoke again. That one is closer to me than you are. Izumi's eyes narrowed. Then I'll surpass it. Outside, the Nomu disappeared. Instant movement. Appeared right in front of her. Punch. Izumi blocked. But this time, she couldn't hold it. She got slammed into the ground. Hard. The Nomu stood over her, raising its hand, charging a massive attack. Aizawa rushed forward. Semi-DOIWA. Izumi looked up, breathing heavy. Damn it. Her body wasn't enough. Her control wasn't enough. That thing was stronger. The voice spoke one last time. You still don't understand. Power isn't about control. It's about domination. Izumi slowly stood up. Lightning started building again. But this time, different, darker, heavier, more intense. Aizawa stopped. This feeling, it's worse than before. Izumi looked straight at the Nomu. Eyes glowing again. But not unstable. Focused, cold. You wanted a god. Lightning exploded around her. But instead of spreading, it compressed, condensed into her body. Her entire aura changed. Then I'll show you one. The ground beneath her shattered. The sky above twisted violently. Even the air felt heavier. The Nomu paused. For the first time. And then, Izumi moved. And this time, even the Nomu couldn't track her. Izumi vanished. Not fast. Instant. Even the air cracked where she had been standing. The enhanced Nomu reacted late. Too late. Zap. A compressed strike hit its chest. Not an explosion. A focused impact. The Nomu was sent flying across the ground, crashing through multiple structures before stopping. Silent. Everyone watching froze. She disappeared. No, she moved. That fast. Izumi stood still. Lightning flowing tightly around her body. It's not wild. Not unstable. Perfect. But different. It's heavier. More dangerous. The Nomu slowly stood up. Damage visible. But already regenerating. Its eyes locked onto her. Then, it smiled again. Still standing, Izumi muttered. The Nomu raised both arms. And suddenly, the sky responded. Not just her anymore. The Nomu pulled energy from the storm too. Massive lightning formed above. Bigger than before. Stronger. Aizawa's eyes widened. It's copying her completely now. The Nomu slammed its hands down. A gigantic lightning strike crashed toward Izumi. She didn't dodge. Didn't move. At the last second, she raised one hand and caught it. The entire battlefield froze. The lightning stopped. Frozen in place. Held by her hand. What? A student whispered. She stopped it. Izumi slowly tightened her grip. Too slow. She crushed it. The lightning shattered like glass. Disappeared. The Nomu paused. Just for a second. And that was enough. Izumi moved again. Behind it, Quirk. The impact lifted the Nomu off the ground. Before it could recover, she appeared above it. Punch. It slammed back down. The ground collapsed. No wasted movement. No hesitation. Every attack precise. Every hit controlled. The Nomu tried to counter. But this time, it couldn't keep up. Izumi grabbed its face. Electricity condensed into her hand. Then, she slammed it into the ground. A concentrated surge went directly into its core. Not spread, not wasted, focused. The Nomu's body shook violently. Cracks spread across it. Its regeneration slowed. Stopped. For the first time, fear appeared in its eyes. You lost, Izumi said calmly. The Nomu tried to move, but its body failed. Electricity inside it collapsed. Its systems shut down. It fell, completely defeated. Silent. No movement. No sound. Students stared. Pro-heroes stood still. Even Aizawa didn't move. She bait it. Alone, Izumi stood there, breathing steady, lightning slowly fading. But then, she felt it, a presence. Watching, she looked up, far away, on a rooftop. All for one. Their eyes met. For a moment, everything went quiet again. All for one smiled. So this is the level you've reached. He stepped forward. Good. Izumi's expression didn't change. You're behind this. Of course, he replied calmly. And now, I'll take it. Before anyone could react, he raised his hand. Suddenly, the remaining Nomu activated again. But this time, they didn't attack. They exploded. Multiple explosions across the battlefield. Smoke, dust, chaos. Students screamed. Heroes moved instantly. In the middle of it, Izumi stood still. Eyes locked forward. Through the smoke, All for One walked closer. Alone. No Nomu. No distractions. Aizawa moved to step in. But stopped. This isn't something we can interrupt. The air grew heavy. Pressure rising. Even breathing felt harder. All for One stopped in front of Izumi. Not attacking. Just observing. Your power doesn't belong in this world. Izumi replied instantly. Then I'll make it belong. A small smile appeared on his face. Confidence. Good. Suddenly, a dark energy surged from him. Multiple quirks activating at once. The ground cracked beneath his feet. Izumi didn't step back. Lightning slowly formed again. But this time, different from before. Not just power. Presence. Two forces, facing each other. The sky above split. Half storm, half darkness. Students watched from far away. Frozen. This is bad. Way too bad. Aizawa clenched his fist. Midoriya. All for One raised his hand. Show me. A god of lightning. Izumi stepped forward. Electricity exploded around her. But perfectly controlled. You wanted it. The ground shattered beneath both of them. As they moved at the same time. And clashed. Boom, Izumi vanished. Not fast. Instant. Even the air cracked where she had been standing. The enhanced Nomu reacted late. Too late. Zap. A compressed strike hit its chest. Not an explosion. A focused impact. The Nomu was sent flying across the ground, crashing through multiple structures before stopping. Silent. Everyone watching froze. She disappeared. No, she moved. That fast. Izumi stood still. Lightning flowing tightly around her body. It's not wild, not unstable. Perfect, but different. It's heavier, more dangerous. The Nomu slowly stood up. Damage visible, but already regenerating. Its eyes locked onto her. Then, it smiled again. Still standing, Izumi muttered. The Nomu raised both arms. And suddenly, the sky responded. Not just her anymore. The Nomu pulled energy from the storm too. Massive lightning formed above. Bigger than before. Stronger. Aizawa's eyes widened. It's copying her completely now. The Nomu slammed its hands down. A gigantic lightning strike crashed toward Izumi. She didn't dodge. Didn't move. At the last second, she raised one hand and caught it. The entire battlefield froze. The lightning stopped, frozen in place, held by her hand. What? A student whispered. She stopped it. Izumi slowly tightened her grip. Too slow. She crushed it. The lightning shattered like glass. Disappeared. The Nomu paused. Just for a second. And that was enough. Izumi moved again. Behind it, Quirk. The impact lifted the Nomu off the ground. Before it could recover, she appeared above it. Punch. It slammed back down. The ground collapsed. No wasted movement. No hesitation. Every attack precise. Every hit controlled. The Nomu tried to counter. But this time, it couldn't keep up. Izumi grabbed its face. Electricity condensed into her hand. Then, she slammed it into the ground. A concentrated surge went directly into its core. Not spread, not wasted, focused. The Nomu's body shook violently. Cracks spread across it. Its regeneration slowed. Stopped. For the first time, fear appeared in its eyes. You lost, Izumi said calmly. The Nomu tried to move, but its body failed. Electricity inside it collapsed. Its systems shut down. It fell, completely defeated. Silent. No movement. No sound. Students stared. Pro-heroes stood still. Even Aizawa didn't move. She bait it. It's alone. Izumi stood there, breathing steady. Lightning slowly fading. But then, she felt it. A presence. Watching. She looked up. Far away. On a rooftop. All for one. Their eyes met. For a moment, everything went quiet again. All for one smiled. So this is the level you've reached. He stepped forward. Good. Izumi's expression didn't change. You're behind this. Of course, he replied calmly. And now, I'll take it. Before anyone could react, he raised his hand. Suddenly, the remaining Nomu activated again. But this time, they didn't attack. They exploded. Multiple explosions across the battlefield. Smoke, dust, chaos. Students screamed. Heroes moved instantly. In the middle of it, Izumi stood still. Eyes locked forward. Through the smoke, All for One walked closer. Alone. No Nomu. No distractions. Aizawa moved to step in. but stopped. This isn't something we can interrupt. The air grew heavy, pressure rising. Even breathing felt harder. All for One stopped in front of Izumi. Not attacking, just observing. Your power doesn't belong in this world. Izumi replied instantly. Then I'll make it belong. A small smile appeared on his face. Confidence. Good. Suddenly, a dark energy surged from him. Multiple quirks activating at once. The ground cracked beneath his feet. Izumi didn't step back. Lightning slowly formed again. But this time, different from before. Not just power, presence. Two forces, facing each other. The sky above split. Half storm, half darkness. Students watched from far away. Frozen. This is bad. Way too bad. Aizawa clenched his fist. Midoriya. All for One raised his hand. Show me. A god of lightning. Izumi stepped forward. Electricity exploded around her. But perfectly controlled. You wanted it. The ground shattered beneath both of them. As they moved at the same time. And clashed. The impact shook the entire UA campus. A massive shockwave spread in all directions, blowing away the remaining smoke and debris. Students were forced to step back. Even pro-heroes had to brace themselves. In the center, Izumi and All for One stood facing each other. Their clash had cracked the ground beneath them. Electricity clashed against dark energy, sparks flying everywhere. All for One moved first. A sudden burst of speed. He appeared behind her. Attack! Izumi reacted instantly. Turned. Blocked. Lightning exploded at the point of contact. Fast, he said. Izumi didn't reply. She disappeared again. Reappeared above. Strike. All for One blocked with a barrier quirk. The impact shattered it partially. Impressive. He raised his hand. Multiple quirks activated. Wind pressure. Shockwaves. Force blasts. All aimed at her at once. Izumi didn't dodge. She stepped forward. Lightning condensed around her body, forming a thin, glowing armor. The attacks hit. Boom, boom, boom. But she pushed through. That won't work. She closed the distance instantly. Punch. All for One blocked, but slid back this time. For the first time, he stopped smiling. Just slightly. So you've reached this level. Izumi raised her hand. The sky above responded instantly. But this time, no chaos, no wild storm. A single massive lightning formation appeared. Compressed, focused. This ends now. All for One looked up. Then back at her. Good. Show me everything. He activated more quirks. His body reinforced. Energy building. Dark aura spreading across the ground. Izumi's eyes glowed. Not unstable. Not out of control. Calm. I am not losing this. She brought her hand down. The lightning above followed. A single devastating strike. All for One countered. Dark energy surged upward. Both attacks collided. The explosion lit up the sky. For a moment, everything disappeared in light. Silent. When the dust cleared, a massive crater remained. At the center, one figure stood. Izumi, breathing heavily, but standing. Her lightning slowly faded. Controlled, stable, across from her. All for One stood as well. But this time, injured, his arm damaged, body cracked. Interesting. He looked at her. You've surpassed expectations. Izumi didn't move. Leave. He smiled slightly. Not today. Suddenly, he stepped back. Not attacking. You're not ready yet. And neither am I. He turned, walking away. Next time, I will take that power. And just like that, he disappeared. Silence filled the battlefield. Izumi stood still for a few seconds. Then, her legs gave out. She dropped to one knee. Aizawa rushed forward. Midoriya. She looked up slightly. I'm fine. The sky slowly cleared. The storm disappeared. Students stared from a distance. Shocked, confused. She fought all for one. And survived. Aizawa looked at her seriously. You didn't just survive. You held your ground. Izumi looked at her hand. Small sparks appeared. Then faded. This power, I'll master it. And far away, in the shadows, all for one watched one last time. A god of lightning. I'll be taking that soon. Back at UA, the day finally ended. But nothing was the same anymore. Izumi Midoriya was no longer just a student. She had become something else. Something even heroes couldn't fully understand. The god of lightning. That's it for today. Hope you enjoyed this story. If you want more crazy what-if stories like this, make sure to like the video. Let's aim for 100 likes on this one high voltage. And don't forget to subscribe to Fiction Flux for more insane anime stories. See you in the next one, Fire.